podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premiere Networks on Saturday, August 20th, 2022. This is episode 1919. Enjoy. Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club Twit. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club Twit Discord, a great clubhouse for Twit listeners. And finally, the Twit Plus feed with shows like Stacy's Book Club, The Untitled Linux Show, The Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here and Micah Sargent, your tech guys too, ready to take your calls on the radio about anything having to do with technology. Perhaps I should give them the phone number, Micah, or would you like to?
I would love to.
Would you do the honors, please?
8888 Ask Leo. That's 888-827-5536.
Yes, you passed the test. I have it written in front of me, but you do not in front of you. I see.
It's up in my brain.
It's up on my brain, lady. 8888 Ask Leo. Then there's a website, techguylabs.com. That's where we store the show notes. So if we talk about something, you want to know, what the heck are they talking about? What was that? You don't have to write it down. We got it for you. We got you. Micah's writing it down. What are you writing it down in?
Oh, this is an M2 MacBook Air in fingerprint.
Yeah, it did. It does pick up fingerprints, doesn't it? That's the midnight color.
Midnight. It looks almost exactly the same as Elvis, the Windows Surface laptop.
You mean your blue suede laptop?
Yeah, the color is very similar.
But no Alcantara.
No Alcantara. And I have to tell you, I'm not even lying about this, I have never loved a computer more. This thing is
pathetic.
It's light. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay,
yeah, please.
It does, unfortunately, pick up the fingerprint hose.
That's the one downside to it.
Wow, it does in a rather dramatic fashion.
It's zippy quick.
Oh, this does feel like...
it's very lightweight.
You could use it as a serving tray. It's so light.
Actually, that's how I get my morning exercises in. Because, I fall asleep next to it. I wake up next to it.
This is the new Macintosh MacBook Air.
Yeah. With the M2 processor.
How much as equipped did this one cost?
Oh, golly. I don't remember prices.
$14, something like that?
$14, yeah.
$14,
a terabyte of storage.
$0.55. This is a 16 gig model.
Mm-hmm.
And how much? You got a terabyte.
I did go to 1 TB, yeah.
So it's about $1,400. They start at $1,100, I think. But when you add up this is nice.
I really like it.
Except for I have to say, the fingerprints are kind of a showstopper.
I'm doing my best to ignore, but yeah, I think if that is something that you would be bothered by, don't get this midnight color because they do linger. The fingerprints do linger.
Either you have unusually greasy hands.
I don't think I do.
Do you lotion your hands frequently?
I do moisturize.
I thought you might moisturize. I thought you might. But so don't moisturize if you have this thing.
Yeah, you're going to have to go dry.
I have to say. Have you named it?
No. Actually, no, I take that back. It is. It's called Evelina.
Evelina?
Yeah.
After your great-grandma?
No, I name every Apple product I have after an apple varietal, like the actual fruit.
Oh, it's a fruit.
Yeah. So all of my devices are named after
You didn't want to go
apples.
Honeycrisp?
I didn't go Honeycrisp. I go alphabetically.
Oh, so you're an E's.
Yeah, I'm back at E because, of course, over time I've been through E
used
before.
them all up.
Evelyn was the last E name that I had.
Oh, why aren't you going to F?
Well, no, because then I went all the way through the alphabet, and now I'm back.
Oh, I see. You're back at E.
Yeah,
like hurricanes, you had to reroute.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I've had Apple devices since college.
Yeah.
So since 20.
You've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
So is it always a female name?
No.
Could be mixed up.
I'm trying to think. Falstaff. That's not
Falstaff's
really a
good
name,
yeah.
But yeah, that's an Apple, and so yeah, I just go through.
I don't actually name my computers.
No.
No, never have.
But you do name your Wi-Fi networks.
Well, you have to because you have to give them.
They do have to have names.
They have to give them.
But
a name.
you have like a theme, don't you?
It varies. Actually, lately, I started naming my mobile devices because I realized that you would see them anytime you turned on the Bluetooth transmitting
Okay.
device. Even if you, as a stranger, right now, turned on your Bluetooth and said scan, you would see my phone.
Right.
So instead of saying Leo's iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is what it would say by default, because Apple likes to give it a name, I decided I should have something more nondescript. So you will see Samson, and then the paired watch is Delilah.
That's cute.
But so that way I know, yeah. But in fact, I think, by the way, we have enough about us. Let's talk about news. We have a rumor, I think credible, coming from Mark Gurman at Bloomberg, who's very, very well connected.
He actually came on Tech News Weekly to talk about it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, on Thursday.
Well, you tell me. What did he say?
Yeah, so Mark says, and it was funny because I started out by saying, hey, this is, rumors, whatever. He said, now this is as close to not being a rumor as the thing can possibly be.
Oh, well, that's, wow, from him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he thinks that we are going to have a Wednesday Apple event, if you can believe it.
The Wednesday after Labor Day.
Yeah.
That's why it's a Wednesday.
And that's what he said. It's so that you can, because he thinks that the press will be invited.
You mean it'll be a lot? You'll go to what?
It will be pre-recorded, but there will be, just like WWDC, that you can join us and get hands-on with the devices
at the new Apple campus.
Yes. So
flying saucer,
and then a week after the event, where a new iPhone, a series of new iPhones will be announced, and Apple Watches. Then he believes that the iPhone will hit stores.
But I would say, since you and I both probably are going to get the new iPhone, I skipped last year.
You did skip last year, yeah.
So I'm owed.
You're definitely
I think
owed.
the universe owes me a new iPhone.
Yeah.
I would bet that if you don't order quickly, that you won't have it that
because
Friday.
of supply chain constraints, right?
So this will be one of those where you'll want to have your finger poised over the boy button, and when the store reopens, which it does shortly after the event, buy.
Boom, boom, boom. And what's interesting this year, Leo, is that Mark says there's not going to be an iPhone mini. That they are going out, they're leaving the iPhone mini behind because it didn't have good sales. And instead, for the first time in a long time, the non-Pro line is going to have a large phone, a Max phone. 6.7 inches.
That's for I thought they always had a Pro Max.
They always had a Pro Max, but you had to go Pro in order to get the Max.
Oh, this will be a non-Pro.
A non-Pro,
Max.
yeah. So it's going to have the chip that's in the current iPhone, but it will have a bigger screen.
Sounds like what Apple's saying is people want big phones, big screens.
That is what they think. But Mark also said, I'll bet you a drink that here in 3 years, then we'll see another mini. Yeah, that it kind of just goes back and forth.
The mini didn't sell well, not only in the iPhone 13, in the iPhone 12, famously. So it was kind of written that that would probably be the last mini. So I guess we wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Now, Apple Watch-wise,
yes,
that is pretty interesting because not only
what's the confidence level on this?
So the confidence level that Mark Gurman has is high again.
High confidence. Okay, now we always have to ask that question.
Absolutely. With the standard Apple Watch, we're going to see new options for cycle tracking. And so improvements to that, as well as a body temperature sensor in all of the models of the new Apple Watch. But it's going to look the same as the Apple Watches that we have right now, except for the Premium Pro Sport. Who knows what it's going to be called? These are all the different names that it could have.
But this is the new model that this supposedly,
Yes, it is going to be a very expensive, in theory, device that has got a titanium casing and has a bigger battery, has a slightly bigger screen, 8% larger screen, so not that much.
Not so as you notice, in other words.
Exactly. And a much stronger glass on the front. The sapphire glass is going to be even stronger.
Have you ever cracked
I have never, but Gurman was saying that he's had several friends, anecdotally, who have.
I have too, yeah.
I've never cracked mine.
I've seen it be cracked. Lisa cracked hers.
Scratched it.
Lisa smashed hers,
on purpose.
She was probably pretty angry at something I had done. So she had to get a new one. Yeah, so I'm interested in the Apple Watch 8. It'll be 8 and perhaps Pro or Sport.
Yeah, I think that I've whenever he was talking about it, I foresaw you being interested in that because you used to not just because you like
I have
the best new
big hands.
Sure,
and you have to have big hands for a big watch requires a big man.
I mean, you're rocking a stainless right now, aren't you?
I'm rocking. I think so.
Yeah. See,
yeah,
I've always gone aluminum.
I used to. Yeah, you're smart. It's so dumb to buy an object that is going to become obsolete in a year in a fine material.
But these are super I hate to use this sort of description, but pass-onable. These devices, I had, before I came to Twit, I had like a Series 2, I think, and I was able to send that off.
I passed on all my watches.
Yeah.
I gave one to my son, Henry, who promptly gave it to his girlfriend and then broke up with her. So I feel like that one was lost.
Oh, I've done one of those too.
Yeah. And then I gave one to my trainer, which he used for a while. And then he just told me the other day, he said, I just got a new Apple Watch. Do you want the old one back? I said, yeah, no. But I also said, I had to tell him, dude, you bought it at the wrong time.
Right.
Never buy Apple products.
Especially in September,
in August, because September is going to be, in October, we're going to see iPads, probably new Macs with the M2 chip.
Yes.
Perhaps word of the rumored Mac Pro. So there'll be a September event phone. Oh, and AirPods probably too. Yes.
At some point, he didn't really talk about AirPods. On the show,
isn't it funny? I'm so uninterested in AirPods. I just don't like how they feel. I don't like how they hang out of my ear.
Fair.
I wear other kinds of earbuds.
What do you find yourself wearing earbuds or headphones?
Well, I feel forced to by Apple's silly recalcitrance to port on any of their phones. They didn't even put it on the iPad Pro.
Yeah.
So I have to wear wireless.
Yeah, certainly wireless, but earbuds versus the ones that go over your ears.
Well,
what do you find yourself wearing more often?
I foolishly bought a pair of the $550 AirPod Pro.
Oh.
What do they call it?
AirPods Max.
Pro Max.
AirPod Max, yeah.
Silly looking things and not great because but I prefer over the ear. I'm wearing them right now as you can probably see. Since you are sitting 5 feet away from me.
As you can see.
As you might know. But earbuds, I'm not crazy about them. You know, we have a sponsor at Emotix that makes molded ones. I like those. I think actually the Samsungs, the Galaxy Buds, which are low priced, are quite good.
I've heard good things about those.
Yeah.
The Google.
I wouldn't get those.
Oh, no. Pixel Buds are no good.
They've had trouble with those.
Oh.
Anyway, 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. So that's the big news. There's much other to speak of, and we will. But the big news is Apple probably going to have an event September 7th in just a few weeks to announce new iPhones. Leo and Micah, your tech guys. Phones after this. I like to muss my hair. I muss my hair. I muss my hair. I like to muss my hair. All right, let's see. The sound effects were a little hot.
Just do what I tell you.
Okay. I'm going to add just do what I tell you. Let's see if we. Oh, you can in the Steam Deck control.
You sure can.
What would you like? What? I have many sound effects. Should we choose a few?
Boing.
You want a boing?
Do you have a boing?
I have a boing. I have many boings. Let me.
And we should definitely have a bell.
Okay. Bell and a boing. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying because of the we got it right bell.
Yeah, we got it right bell.
Yeah.
And perhaps the we got it wrong boing.
Here's a bling. I don't know if a bling is a ding and a buzzer. That might be a good got it right
ding and a buzzer
sound.
walk into the bar.
Yeah. Crystal. Here's a crystal stab. How about this? If we didn't get it right, we play this.
Ow. Crystal stab. That just makes me want to get up and slap my thighs. I recognize that sound.
Yes, you should, because you played a lot of Mario when you were
that's what
young
it is.
lad. Okay, this is in the quickies section.
I taught a dog to play the first
Here's a
level of
quickie.
Mario.
Baba Booey.
Yeah.
Baba Booey.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Ooh, that was kind of scary.
You could keep playing that one, you know.
Bum, bum.
Bum, bum. It would be
bum.
like...
Oh, I thought that was the sound effect you had. I thought,
Although I should
that's
save
a boring
that one.
one.
That's pretty good.
If you like what you hear. Oh, that was fun.
What, you like?
The one before that one. The clown sound. I don't know why that makes me laugh.
Yeah, well, let's put that one somewhere here. Let's put that one there. And then you have to name it. Well, it says clown horn. Oh, yeah, you can set the level. That's nice. Correct. How about correct? How about
good.
that? Let's put that one in there. That's
From a game show.
From a game show. You are correct, sir.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Something
We're just
taken
in
off.
the D's. That's disappear. You like that one?
Wrong.
I'm only going to put one in if you like.
If I end up laughing.
If you laugh.
I can't hear you. Wow. Why is there... Oh, no. See, I did it again.
I have to listen to the music so we know.
Oh.
Okay,
That's
that one's
great.
going in. That one's going in. I'll have to rearrange these at some point.
Oh, no.
Yes, Burke. Turn off what? Turn up his light. He's in the dark.
No.
This is my son. This is Henry when he was a baby.
No way.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
I felt like a plant under a glow light.
This is a good one.
I don't want your pity. I'm thinking.
That one's fun.
Intruder alert.
You could play that anytime someone comes in the studio.
This is the Jetsons doorbell. We should definitely have that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Intruder alert. John has walked into the studio to say, I love you.
Aww. Play this for Kim. The phone angel.
How much
I can. Hello, Kim Sheffer, phone angel. I just called.
Laura, do you have a crush on me?
She always plays the nicest stuff for
She
you.
does. I love her.
Yeah.
Is that a paisley rooster on your shirt?
I can't even say what I was just about to say.
Apparently not.
My friend was wearing a halter top that had a big
Paisley rooster. This looks more like
big rooster on it yesterday.
Yeah,
so it is
we're not going to
hilarious.
say anything.
Okay, there was no
This is like a
innuendo involved.
Rorschach
I really
test
thought it
on
was
your-
like a chicken, like
It's not,
Petaluma.
but she was wearing a chicken yesterday, so it's hilarious that you said that. And we were.
That's
hanging
actually a
out in
beautiful
Petaluma.
pattern. It's kind
Thank you.
of
I
Russian
don't know
looking.
What it is? It's
Da.
Russian looking.
It looks like Russian. Yeah. Anyway, Kim is the. Anyway, moving right along.
Today's been a weird day already.
Already?
Yeah.
What? Like what?
Well, you shouldn't do updates right before the show.
Oh, we weren't sure if we would be able to take phone calls because Kim's computer, as is Windows
But it
works
now. It works.
got rebooted.
Yeah.
So did you see it? Did it pop up and say, hey, we'd like to do some updates right now?
No, it was just spinning when I
It's
walked
already
in,
just
and I go,
working.
that might be a problem. And it was like me updating my iPhone, which they told us to do yesterday, 15 minutes before it
Oh.
was leaving the house today.
Oh,
that was
no.
also kind
That's
of
the
stupid.
other big announcement, big news story is everybody who has any Apple device,
Yep.
iPhone, Macintosh. I don't think the watches or the TVs got updated, but iPhones, iPads, and Macintosh must do the update because there's a 0 day. That is 0 day means it's a vulnerability that is currently in the wild being exploited. That gives an attacker. You go to a maliciously formed web page, an attacker access to your computer, take over. So that's bad. So if you go to a website that you don't might not even know that it's malicious. You might even be a legit site that got hacked itself. You could really get in trouble. So.
And all of you out there using Zoom need to update that as well.
Zoom as well. Zoom has a similar problem. Always do the updates, except right before the radio.
That's the only time.
Or right before the radio show, or
We'll
right
let you get a
before
pass.
you're leaving the house, which was the stupid thing I did this morning.
But your
So
phone's okay now.
It's fine.
working.
It's fine.
This is a pretty quick update. It doesn't take a real long time.
Yeah, it didn't take that long.
Windows, on the other hand. What can I? What should we
Let's
start?
go to Gina in Venice, and she's having problems with her fairly new iPhone. And
Perfect.
I'm hoping it's not because of this 0-day problem that you're talking about.
Well, Mike is here.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
He's the host of iOS Today. If anybody will know the answer, it's Micah. Gina, thank you, Kim. Hello, Gina. Welcome. Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You've all been making me just chortle this morning.
Oh,
so
good.
Thank you.
Chortling. I love that
I love
word.
that. That's such a good word.
That's a great word.
Yes. So I have updated. I'm very, very cognizant of updates. So
Excellent.
I'm good in that area.
Good.
But what's happening is I keep losing. I'm on speakerphone. Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
okay?
you sound
You
great.
sound great. Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting my Wi-Fi connection keeps going on and off, and I'll get little messages on the bottom of the screen that says your Wi-Fi is off, and then a nanosecond later, it's back on. I've gone through Apple support. I've reset the network configuration. I've shut down. I've done whatever I can, and I'm not sure what's going on. I am going to say I have RoboKiller on my phone. I don't know if that's a problem.
No, that shouldn't.
Yep.
That's the anti-spam, anti-robo.
It's a good question, though.
Yeah. Do you?
Okay.
So the Wi-Fi. So what you're saying is the Wi-Fi turns off and on kind of randomly, and you see a little pop-up that says Wi-Fi's turned off, and then you see again, and you're not touching the phone or doing settings or anything. It just does it all by itself.
It does it all by itself.
This is a troubling one because the problem is there could be so many different things that are affecting it. The fact that it's disconnecting. Do you have just one Wi-Fi router in your home? What Wi-Fi router do you use in your home?
The name or what? Yeah. I have
the
one
brand.
router. I have to go look. But
That's okay. You don't need to go look.
The reason why we're asking is because depending on kind of how that setup is set up, so to speak, it can sort of bounce you between different networks. So if you've only got one router, that's good enough to know.
Yeah.
It feels like it isn't the iPhone that it's you're actually your Wi-Fi's coming up and down, and that's what your iPhone is reporting. Does any other device say anything?
No, I've got an iPad. I've got an Apple iPad. I have an iMac, and
none of them show that problem.
Not at all. None of them. And and this is a new problem. The phone is probably 6, 7, I don't know, whenever.
So the first thing I'm going to have you do, and we won't be able to sit around while you do it, is to go to settings and reset your network settings. So go to settings.
I did that.
You've already done that. All right. Well, we're running out of time. Hang on. We'll answer off the air, I guess. Leo and Micah, your tech guys. More of your calls coming up. So let me run you through the standard procedure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first thing, of course, always switch your phone off and then turn it back on again.
Yeah.
And I mean really off, not just hit the screen off button, but really, press the screen off and the volume up and it's slide to turn off and all. And you've done that.
Yes.
And then you also did the extra step of going into the settings, the network settings, and reconnecting, resetting your settings.
Well, I want to clarify on that, Gina, because there are two ways that you can do that. And so I want to see which one you did, where you launch settings, you tap on Wi-Fi, and then you disconnect from the network by choosing forget this network. That's one way to do it. The other way is settings, general, reset, and that's where you reset your network settings. So those are two different, and I'm curious which one you did.
I hate to say it, but I think I did both of them.
Okay.
That's
make
good.
sure you've done that. It's the same place where you erase your phone. You can erase all settings, you can erase everything, but if you just erase the network settings and start over, sometimes that helps. Have you tried rebooting your router?
I think so.
So you unplug it and plug it in again. That should be enough. And you did forget the Wi-Fi. What else? I mean, at this point now, we did all the easy things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe I don't think I rebooted all the way. So I'll go back the router.
Just in case it's the router, although because you say you're not seeing this problem anywhere else, it seems unlikely to be the router. The other thing is that sometimes, things go wrong. Like you might have a loose Wi-Fi antenna in the phone, and that's something only Apple can diagnose. Yeah, it could be hardware. Apple can diagnose that if you bring it into the Apple Store.
Okay.
That might be what you need to do, because I think we've done all the easy things. It sounds like.
Because especially you go into the Apple Store, you'll be able to connect to their Wi-Fi network as you're getting the help that you need. And if it is happening there too, that gives them more insight into this being a larger issue. But if you were able to connect to other Wi-Fi networks and not experience this problem, then you know that it has something to do with your network. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, can you go to a coffee shop and have does the same problem happen? That's a good test. The other thing is make sure I presume you're close to your Wi-Fi router. You're not distant from it.
Right, correct.
Yeah, because you can get out of range and it can be going in and out because you're just out of the range.
Okay.
Yeah, try go to a friend's house and try their Wi-Fi, see if that happens.
I will try that. I will try that and see.
Yeah, if it does, then it's the phone. Then it's the phone for sure.
Okay.
If it doesn't, then it might be your internet. All the stuff that we do is kind of troubleshooting is really essentially eliminating possibilities. So we always start with the easy one, right? And then slowly work our way up. Now you're actually going to have to leave the house.
I'm a nurse, and I know that's exactly what you do to diagnose things.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing.
Rule out everything that you think it could be, and then you look for zebras, as they say.
Oh, zebras! What does that mean, zebras?
I love this saying.
It's looking for the most unexpected problem.
You were looking for a horse, instead you got a zebra.
Yeah. When you hear the hoof beats, you see.
That's a great line. I love that.
Well, you guys are wonderful. I listen to you every week, and I learn so much from you, Leo. I have so many products that I've gone out and got and purchased because of you.
I'm sorry we broke your bank.
Yeah, we made you spend money.
I'm so glad you listen. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
You as well.
All right.
I can feel the music.
Can you feel it? But are you dancing?
You know I am.
If you're in your chair, is it dancing?
If that's all you can do.
Yeah, I guess you have to stay close to the mic. So we spent some, Micah Sargent, Leo Laporte, your tech guys, we spent some time with Gina. She's a nurse, and she understood when we explained how you troubleshoot technical problems. She said, it's the same thing we do in the hospital. Mm-hmm. You eliminate the easy ones first. You say, well, you have a fever, So we're looking at the easy ones, resetting, turning your phone off and on is the first thing to do, and then resetting your network connection and things like that, turning the Wi-Fi off and on. And now we're going to reboot the router. None of this worked, by the way. You'll be happy to know. So the next step, Gina's phone was on and off, up and down. We call it flapping in the business. When your Wi-Fi is turning off and on at a rapid pace, it's called flapping. And we said, well, go over to a friend's house and see if it happens with their Wi-Fi. And this is a good test, because if it does with their Wi-Fi, then it's the phone. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't with their Wi-Fi, then it's your Wi-Fi. She says, yeah, we call that a zebra in the business, in the hospital. What's a zebra?
Yeah, and this is interesting because typically the saying is it's kind of an Occam's razor saying. It's saying when you hear the hoof beats, don't expect zebras because it's probably horses. But you can flip that on its head and say,
if you've ruled out horses,
it's got to be a zebra.
I like it. Okay, this is good. I'm writing this down. I'm going to use this. It could be a zebra. Could be a zebra. So the last step, of course, go to the Apple Store, and they can diagnose a hardware issue. Normally, Scott Wilkinson joins us at this time. He's doing something. I forgot what it is.
Laser projectors are cool. I'm filling in. That's all I know.
Maybe we just take a call.
Okay,
Brian in Montebello, California. Hi, Brian. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys.
Oh, good morning, sir. Thanks for
Lasers
taking
are
my
cool.
call.
Laser projectors are cool. You're welcome. Good to hear from you, Brian.
So, Leo, I'm a retired police officer. I used to work at pretty much the biggest university system in California, and I did a lot of internet-related crime.
Nice.
So,
Or would you say that you were a forensic computing
I
guy?
didn't do forensics.
Okay.
I was actually the detective that, I'd be the handling detective. So when somebody would come in and say, my boyfriend's revenge porning me,
Oh, Lord.
I'd be the guy that handled that and take the case actually to the court. But that experience, of course, made me, I work with computers a lot. I work with Windows, Mac, Linux. But it made me very, I don't want to say paranoid, but I'm cautious.
Yeah.
And now that I'm retired, I find myself being the IT guy for the family and friends. And so, of course, I tell them, hey, before you take your bank statements and stick them on Google Drive, you need to encrypt them.
Yeah.
'Cause it's unbelievable the things people will do.
I know.
And so I'm like, okay, I had to come up with something that they could do that was easy but would be secure. And what I came up with was 7-zip.
Yep. They have a good
encrypted
password.
Archive file.
Yeah.
And I'm just, but I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I'm kind of in my mind, I'm like, God, is that really safe enough?
You're asking now the very good question, which is really, does 7-zip have good encryption? Because it's possible not. In fact, there have been other zip programs that have been easily cracked. So you're saying encrypt my file 7-zip with a password. Of course, the password they choose is also a vulnerability, right? So make sure you tell them, don't say the password is password or monkey123. Come up with a good one. But remember, you're putting up roadblocks. That's always the thing about security. Nothing's perfect, but you're putting up speed bumps for the bad guys. And 7-zip's encryption is very good. It is.
You can select AES 256.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's strong encryption, and that's very good. So that is safe as long as it's again comes down to now, because 7-zip is using good encryption. It comes down to the password they choose, and if it's an easily guessable password. There's an interesting point to bring up here, which is how passwords are cracked. I'm sure you already know this, but I'll just for everybody else. When you're trying to get into somebody's website or into their phone, almost always there are things to slow you down, they call it rate limiting. Or in the case of a phone, it might, after 10 tries, it might say, sorry, and blow up. All of these things are designed to prevent rapid brute force cracking. But when you're talking about a file that's on a drive, if somebody gets that file, they can work at it at their leisure. There's no rate limiting going on. So they can use cracking tools on a 7-zip that goes very, very fast. Hundreds of thousands of tests a second. That means that it's possible to brute force a password if it's not a good password. Am I making this clear? Do you understand? I know you understand, Brian. But that's
I used to get the kids would come in and they're like, their passwords were all the same for everything.
Oh, it's
and they're
terrible.
wondering how their ex-boyfriend got into their Facebook.
Well, exactly. But it's not as big a deal on a website or on your phone because there are things that slow down brute force cracking. I can't do 100,000 passwords a minute on a website. The website will stop, after a few, and sometimes you'll see, you got to wait a minute now or wait 5 minutes now, or the website will just say, forget it, buddy, or it's slow coming back. But when you have a file in your possession, there's nothing to slow you down. And so then brute forcing becomes a really powerful tool. So even something you might think is a good password, like their date of birth and their initials or their mother's maiden name, is not. It has to really be a longer is better, as you know. Longer is better, and as random as possible. And that's why you need a password manager. But this is good luck, Brian. You're just getting them the first step. So that's what I'm saying. You're giving them good speed bump.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. But really, because 7-zip's using strong encryption, the next step is strong password. Because they can run these tools against it that will really rapidly test passwords. And it's kind of mind-boggling how good these brute force crackers are. They're very, very good.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, sir. I feel a little bit better now. I've been telling people to do this for like 3 or 4 years, and I thought, gosh, I really should.
It's worth checking. Well, you knew that it was AES 256. That's the words you want to hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear people say, and I always laugh, military-grade encryption or government-grade encryption. We're all using the same, the best.
Yeah, we had AES 256 on our radios.
Yes.
Which we never used it. But
that's strong encryption for a radio. That's very strong encryption.
Yeah, we never used it. It's like we had something sensitive, we would just, hey, I'm going to call you on your cell phone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's meet in the park. We'll discuss. Hey, thank you for your service. I'm sure those kids really appreciated having you there.
Most of the time they did. Sometimes they didn't.
The only time I get in trouble in college, and this was, remember, the 70s when streaking was big. It was a mass streak. It wasn't just me. Everybody on the freshman campus was streaking. I was the one that the campus police chased up the staircase and asked me for ID, at which point I said, "Sir, as you probably can tell, I have no ID.
My name is John Smith."
Yeah. They just, a strong talking to was all I got, thank goodness, because everybody else was doing it.
Well, it's all in good fun. You know, when you're a campus cop, you have to understand who you're working with.
Exactly. And they, we really appreciated them because they kept us safe. I mean, that was their real job. And, protecting ourselves from ourselves, certainly, but the outside world also. Hey, thank you for the job you did, Brian. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
It's a great question. I think people say, oh, just put it, I put it in Dropbox. That's safe. iCloud is safe. The thing to remember is, sort of safe unless your account gets hacked or there's a malicious employee. Apple really pushes we use encryption on the phone and everything. But when you use iCloud to back up, Apple has access to all that data. So if it's something really private, we should do something our friend Steve Gibson, our security guy, he used to call it pre-egress encryption, but we changed it to PI, pre-internet encryption.
That's a good choice.
Encrypt before you put it on the net, because you never know when a site will be breached or if there's a malicious employee. And none of these sites, for many good reasons, encrypt in place. Always ask, do you encrypt in place? None of them do. Good question. Thank you, Brian. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, more calls coming up. Then we'll talk about laser projectors or big screen TVs or something. Yeah, it's a really good question.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and for instance, when those celebrity pictures were being released of Scarlett Johansson and stuff, a lot of that stuff, almost all of it was on iCloud. And because they were able to social engineer, in case of Paris Hilton, for instance, her iCloud password was the name of her dog, which everybody knew because they saw it on the show.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that's the first thing somebody tried. So, yeah. Oh, Janet Jackson, yeah.
Alive,
okay, this
right?
could, no, she's not. Oh, this could break your computer.
Oh, that, yes, okay.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Micah Sargent, your tech guy. So is this the song, Professor Laura? Are you trying to kill me? So this song, this is a weird story.
Does not compute.
This song has a particular frequency in it that actually breaks a certain kind of hard drive. Microsoft software engineer Raymond Chen told the story. It's not really a problem these days, but older Windows XP laptops, when you play the music video for Rhythm Nation, which I take it is what we were just listening to, is that right? Okay, because I don't know. He didn't name the manufacturer, but an unnamed major computer manufacturer discovered that playing the video would crash certain models of its laptops. They couldn't figure out why. In fact, you wouldn't just have to play it. If, like Micah, you were playing it, it could crash my laptop.
What?
Yeah, if you played it loud enough. The song contained one of the natural resonant frequencies for the model of the 5400 RPM laptop hard drives that they and other manufacturers used. So the sound waves coming from Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation vibrated at a frequency that would make the hard drive go, I can't take it, and crash. It's called vibration resonance, What did the manufacturer do? What do you think? They call Janet? Say, hey, could you redo that song? No. They put a filter in the audio pipeline that found that frequency and would just remove it. Apparently, it wasn't necessary because the song didn't sound worse, I guess. This is not the only thing that would crash Windows. Another Microsoft developer revealed playing the game 101 Monochrome Mazes would crash the machine because the speaker trace and reset trace were too close to each other. This is Larry Osterman on Twitter a couple of days ago. The hardware boffins invested, this back when Microsoft had boffins. I think they've gotten rid of them all. But the Microsoft boffins investigated and discovered the trace to the speaker on the motherboard was too close to the reset trace. And I guess the vibration would move the speaker. The trace is the line connecting on the circuit board would buzz it in such a way that it would reset the computer.
Holy moly.
Reset the computer. That's crazy. So anyway, this is just a good thing to know, and probably we just crashed a whole bunch of old Windows XPs, but it was time.
Hoorah.
It was time. Get a new computer. If Janet Jackson, I think that's a good rule. If Rhythm Nation crashes your computer, time for a new computer.
Time for a new computer. That's perfect.
8888. Ask Leo the phone number. Let's go to, I think, Valencia, California now and say hi to Rocco. Hello, Rocco.
Hey, Leo, can you hear me all right?
I hear you great. Welcome.
Actually, you have speakerphones. I think sometimes the people don't like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I've become very disenchanted with Apple. This is probably my last product I'm going to buy from them.
Oh, no. What happened to you?
Well, this is to sum it up in a nutshell here. I went ahead and I had a computer from 2012. And so it's time for a new one. So I went ahead and upped the game. I went over and I purchased from Apple. I purchased a MacBook Pro 16-inch M1 Max, 64 gig. And I thought this is going to be a great thing.
Yeah, that's an expensive machine. That's nice. You spent thousands.
I mean, $4,000.
Wow.
So anyway, I said, guys over at the Geek Squad, because I didn't take it to Apple, took it to Geek to do it. And I said, transfer my data from my small 13-inch to my 16-inch. No problem. Well, the pictures didn't come in.
Wait a minute. This isn't Apple's fault. This is the Geek Squad's fault.
Well, maybe so, but he says, no, you got to go back to Apple. So I went to Apple.
Well, wait. First of all, let me tell you what you should have done, and from future reference. When you first turn on that new MacBook, it'll say, oh, do you want to transfer your data from your old MacBook? And you say, yes. And then there are a variety of ways to connect it. The fastest would be with a Thunderbolt cable if you have it on the old one. If not, you can use an Ethernet cable or do it over Wi-Fi, which is slow. But we'll get your pictures. We'll get everything.
It literally makes it like the old one is the new one. It's very, very
I've done
handy.
it so many
Migration
times
Assistant
now.
is amazing.
So I think your problem is really going to be with Best Buy.
Yeah, I took the wrong path. But now I got it resolved except for one thing. Now, all my documents, they're not one of the documents because I have my this, my that, etc. And so I have to go to Finder. You go to Finder, and they're not under documents. I have to go to Desktop, and they're in a file on Desktop. All my documents.
Thank the Geek Squad. So the next thing to do is just drag them into the Documents folder.
Just drag them in documents.
Yeah, just move
That's what I got.
You can rearrange it. Were you copying it over from a Windows PC?
No. This is from my Mac.
Okay, because Windows does that. It calls things my documents, my folder, my.
That's my old habits from when I was doing Windows.
Got it.
So I would
Got it.
I named them my this, my that.
So the document, you can call it anything you want, honestly, and you can manage it that way. But if you just want to go with the Apple way so that the Finder can see it. But the other thing you can do is in Finder, you can drag any folder to that dock on the left there, and including the My Documents folder, and then that'll be your Documents folder. So you're not required to do it the Apple way. But if you just want to make it easy, you can literally drag them all over to the My Documents.
What do most people do? Do they put them in the Documents folder? Or they put them in the Finder? They do. Okay.
Yeah.
That's simple enough.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. Second question I have. I overheard you talking about passwords, and I'm probably guilty of that. I've done passwords like, Sleepy Hollow when I change the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 9, or whatever it is. And I've done that for a lot of my different, because it's so doggone hard to remember all these passwords. And then I went and bought one password.
Good man.
On my phone. I have that. But I have the same situation. I don't want to start creating all these, complicated passwords. You remember what this is for Best Buy? No, I don't. So I want to make one password.
That's one password's job. Let it do it.
Oh, let it do it.
Let it create the passwords. It will remember them. You still have to remember one password. That's the password to get into the vault.
I know that.
But other than that, if you're creating a password that you could look at and say, I remember that, you're not doing it right. Passwords should be long and unmemorable because they're totally random combinations of upper lowercase letters, numbers, and punctuation. And the longer the better. Some sites will limit you, but as long as a site will let you, or a computer program will let you, make it as long as you can, because you don't have to remember it. So if it's 38, I make 64 character passwords routinely because I don't have to remember it. One password will.
When you create the login, the application itself is going to it's going to tie the two together. It's going to say, when this person goes to this website, this is the password that they created for that website. Or when they launch this app, this is the password that they created for this app. And so it will automatically suggest to you what password you're supposed to type in, so you don't have to go, climbing through the whole list of passwords that have been created, because it's linked together automatically.
And we're saying, by the way, one password, but any password manager will do this. They all do. 1Password is a very good one. I think you made a good choice. Kind of let go and let it. I know it's a little scary. If you have dictionary words in your password, remember I was talking about how the worst case scenario is it's a file that somebody can run a brute force cracking tool on. Those tools are very, very fast. Millions sometimes of passwords a second. So they'll go through every word in the dictionary in every possible order with additional numbers. Sometimes people say, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be elite hacksaw, and I'm going to replace all the L's with ones and the E's with threes and the O's with zeros. No one will guess it then. That's the first thing they try. So a brute force password cracker is so fast that anything that's memorable at all to you, you're out of luck. There are various places you can go online to see how good your password is. If a brute force, the worst case scenario applies, I'll find a good one and put it in the show notes at techguylabs.com, because honestly, it's easier than you think. These guys are very aggressive, very clever. So do a good job. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. More to come. Steve Gibson has a password Haystacks. Steve Gibson Password Strength will give you a link to his password Haystacks. That's probably a good one. That's a good one. grc.com/haystack.htm. I'll put it in the chat room.
How big is your haystack?
And in this one, his idea is longer is better. So you could put a password in there. In fact, I should have asked him for his passwords, and you could see the how long it would take in a variety of different things. It is important to understand it's not a password strength meter. He explains that, though. There are password strength meters out there too.
Yeah, I think 1Password might have one on their website.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and sometimes websites will say, well, that's weak, that's strong.
Oh, they've got a username generator now.
Yes.
As well.
Yes, everybody's doing it now. Yeah. Thank you, Bitwarden. Started that one. So he has a good explanation of all of that, and some links that are good. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy, Micah Sargent, tech guy 2.
Hello.
TWO, not TWO. TWO. Tech guy 2 as well. In addition, also, talking about computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, smart stuff. You know, that's actually something that has been a big trend. When I first started doing this back in the 18th century, the aughts. No, before the aughts, in the 1980s, in late 80s, early 90s, the computer was this thing, and you didn't have computers anywhere else. It was a thing on your desk, or it was a thing in... Now there's computers everywhere, and we call it computing at the edge. And kind of, if I had really thought about it, I think some people did, you could see this coming. The computers would get cheaper, smaller, so small and so cheap that you could put them in things like refrigerators or microwaves or cars or phones, and at some point even in things like light bulbs.
Right.
And computing would just move out to the edge. And I think maybe I should look back, but I feel like maybe even at the time we talked about this idea that someday everything will have a certain amount of intelligence built into it. Now I'm seeing the same idea coming to robots. You know, a lot of times when we think about robots, we think about a house robot standing at the sink doing the dishes instead of you.
Yeah.
No. Robots are doing the same thing computers did, like an iRobot, the Roomba vacuum cleaner. There might be a little dishwashing kind of a thing.
Jason Snell's tea robot, where it dunks the tea into the water over and over again.
Yeah, that
and
seems
it's automated.
like a kind of trivial use of robotics. But
but it works.
But more and more, you're going to see things, I think, like that. Just as we've seen computing moving to the edge, as robots get more capable, less expensive, you're going to see them in a variety of mostly purpose-built things, like the tea dunking robot. That's all it does.
Yeah, it's single purpose.
Single purpose thing. And I think maybe our vision of robots as giant machines, turning cars around to fix them, or something Android in your house that puts the kids to bed. Rosie. That's maybe not going to be the future. I think we're already starting to see these ubiquitous little things.
There's even the robot that just presses a single button.
Yeah, could be.
Its job is just to press a button.
That only happens when it's so cheap. They only put a computer in a light bulb if it's really cheap. The people who created this computing revolution, if they had known 100 years it'd be a computer and a light bulb, they would have said that's a terrible use of computing. What a waste of computing power. Just as I did as a knee-jerk thing with a tea bag robot. Well, that's a terrible use of a robot. That's all it does, dunk tea bags. But if they're cheap and ubiquitous and it's easy to make, why not? Robots everywhere. What's your purpose? I spread toast. I just put your butter on.
It's a living.
8888. Ask Leo. Shane is on the line from Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, Shane.
Leo, how are you?
I'm great.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
What's up?
Good. All right. So I'm a desktop engineer.
Okay.
And we've been using, and this might be outside of this, definitely a Windows Weekly question. We've been using the Microsoft Business Store to kind of, round up our apps and stuff like that to where our users can only install certain apps.
So that you sell them, it's B2B. It's selling from businesses to businesses.
Kind of, except say you're in an enterprise environment and you want to limit the apps that they can get to in the Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Device management.
Oh, I see. So it is a subset of the public Microsoft Store.
Right.
Got it.
Right. Well,
I see. So the IT department says, well, we don't want you installing any fart apps, so we're going to have a subset of useful apps, and this will be the business store you'll see on your version of Windows.
Right.
Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
Well, Microsoft is retaring that.
Of course they are.
They're retiring everything in January 2023.
Of course they are. Yeah.
So they've switched to. I keep reading about it. They're switching to what's called, and it's a command line type install. Like in Linux, you have apt-get.
Yeah, you're talking about. Did you say WinGet because you faded out? Are you talking about WinGet?
Yes, WinGet.
WinGet, yeah, it's what we call a package manager, and
the Windows package manager.
Yeah, this one comes from Microsoft, but there's another one. There are others out there for Windows, like Chocolatey is the one I use, just because I like the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are tools. Go ahead.
I like Chocolatey, but of course my company's like, well, we don't want to pay for that.
Yeah.
We want to figure out what's going on. And
another one that's widely used and I think is used in business is Ninite. Do you know about Ninite?
Ninite.
Ninite. Ninite lets you build an installer that you can then distribute that installs apps for the user. So because I take it what you're saying is I need something as an IT guy, I need something that I can control what my users are installing. Yes?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So Ninite is like a package manager, but you set it up ahead of time to install just the stuff you want. So you could then disable the Microsoft Store on that machine. That's an easy thing to do with Policy Editor, and set up something like Ninite. There are probably more sophisticated IT-focused things like Ninite.
Right.
Like Nix. There are a lot of choices in the Linux world where you can. The goal of all of this, and I think of any IT department that wants to make a reproducible build of a machine that they can give to everybody in a department, is to be able to script this, right?
Right.
So you have a
and to build. So with WinGet and the Linux version, which is apt-get, which I think Windows stole that from them. But
yeah, that's what the developer apt-get said, because they interviewed him saying, "Hey, we'd like to hire you." Didn't hire him, and then made their own.
I think I heard from you. I think I heard that from you.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But also the idea of being able to build your own repo to pull,
perfect,
to have those apps verified and to pull those apps from there. I was just kind of wondering because it's getting it's very vague, right? Like they're not giving a lot of information.
I agree. WinGet has not. I was excited when they mentioned it because as somebody who's used other operating systems, Apple has there's a package manager called Homebrew that's really fantastic. Every Linux distro has its own package manager. These are really useful tools for users, and Windows has lacked this. And I thought, whoa, WinGate, great. I don't care if you stole it. Let's see it. Let's go. And Microsoft is not as typical. This is so typical with Microsoft. They haven't embraced it in the way that you and I would like.
Had hoped.
Yeah.
Because we do have it set up in certain test environments to where, hey, if a machine bombs out within a couple minutes, you can pull that repo list.
Exactly. Rebuild it.
That was installed in.
Isn't that beautiful?
20, 30 minutes or something like that. It's awesome.
Well, we have a lot of IT professionals listening. We have many in the chats. I'm curious what they do to create reproducible builds. Remember Microsoft used to have something called Steady State, or there used to be a program called Steady State. It wasn't a Microsoft. Anyway, they killed it. But that was the same idea. You'd reboot the machine, and it would rebuild itself to a known good state.
And we use it used to be SCCM. It's now NECM. But we do use that to manage and everything, and especially updates and all that good stuff. But it's not really a rebuild purpose. It's more of a deploy purpose.
But I like what you said. So something goes wrong with a computer. Instead of you having to go down the hall, keys jingling, and rebuilding it, it will automatically rebuild itself and work again. I love that idea.
Because we've already deployed autopilot to a good number of machines. It's just when that machine comes registered again through Intune, it comes back up, and then to have a backup list somewhere like on OneDrive or something like that, that repo can read that list and go, oh, I'm just going to install all these software without the user having to go in and do A, B, and C.
Yeah. You want a reproducible build of Windows is what you want.
Or just even to restore the build that just crashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it could be variables as well. You know, it could be like, well, I had 7-zip, or I had Notepad ++.
Yeah, you have a standard set of apps that, yeah.
Okay, I'll
don't know off the top of my head, but I think that this is something that must have been solved. Must have been, because it's just such an obvious need. Keep listening, and I'm sure we'll come up with something for you. And if you have time to go to the IRC, they'll welcome you, Shane. irc.twit.tv, and they may have some good ideas too. I know there are a lot of IT pros in there. Hey, a pleasure talking to you, Shane. I feel your pain. I will ask on Windows Weekly. I'll ask Mary Jo and Paul about that as well, because they might.
Right. We just got hit. We just got hit. Windows. What was it? So Internet Explorer got retired.
Yep.
So that caused a whole bunch of problems.
Yep.
And then we're still working with Microsoft right now to get it working in Edge in that enterprise mode.
It's so ironic because Microsoft continually demonstrates that their bread and butter is business computing, the enterprise.
Exactly.
And they say it again and again, and they often say, well, we really would like consumers too, but really their bread and butter is business. And yet it feels like they
and Paul said it on Windows Weekly. He's like, enterprise just doesn't turn around as fast as consumers,
right?
Because well, and the main thing is the legacy apps, right? Those. Right. You've got a company that threw money into developing a legacy app or a homegrown app, and now they have to redo it because these variables they built into it don't no longer exist.
All I can say is I feel your pain, Shane. I appreciate the call. We have to take a break. We'll come back with more calls. There's so many interesting topics in computing, and reproducible builds is a fascinating topic, I think, for everybody. It should be easy for you to say, this is how I like my Windows. Mm-hmm. I mean, we always talk about imaging, and imaging is the kind of the easy way to do it. But what if it's just, I just need to repair this file or whatever? There should be something that can say, yeah, we'll fix that, and it does it.
I guess that's cloud computing, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, that's for a long time I've been saying. I don't understand why Microsoft doesn't push really hard on just putting your PC in the cloud. Maybe they know that businesses don't want that. But
I was, for the first time in a long time the other day, I downloaded my copy of The Sims 4, and I was playing a little bit of The Sims, and went through building some stuff, setting some stuff up, and then saved and quit and went about my merry way, and came back wanting to play one more time, and launched it, and the saved file that I had was not loading, and all of the work that I had done in The Sims was lost. And I had this moment of like, why is this not just on some server somewhere and it streams just the video to me like game streaming, where you don't have that risk of corrupted files, and where I could make as many houses as I want to in The Sims, and I can, up the graphics because it's not having to do anything locally. And that was that moment of it would be good to have this cloud computing.
But The Sims isn't a very challenging game, so it can run perfectly in the cloud.
Yeah.
But a lot of games won't.
Yeah, I mean, I've played using Luna. I have played Assassin's Creed Valhalla using Amazon's Luna.
And that was good?
It is the only thing, because the whole promise is like I could pick up my phone and start playing, right? That's what they try to. No,
I have Luna
because you have to.
I haven't ever used it.
If you're as long as you have the Ethernet,
I even got the
controller.
The controller, so
it's really, really good if you've got an Ethernet connection.
Yeah, and I do. Yeah,
it was amazing to play. It has been amazing to play.
It has to be low latency.
But trying to play it on the phone, which is what the promise is. Even when I'm sitting right next to my Wi-Fi router that supports Wi-Fi 6 and my phone that supports Wi-Fi 6, it still is not there. So we've got a while to go for that.
Yeah.
That's where I was hopeful for Netflix, because if any company knows how to get video that looks good to people with horrible connections, it's Netflix.
It doesn't feel like they want to do that cloud gaming thing, though.
They don't.
They're doing spin-offs for casual games for their shows.
Yeah, and that's
dumb.
It's a bummer. It's a real bummer, because I really think that they could lock that in if they would.
Yeah.
But they don't.
No. Okay, it's Billy Joel. I'm not sure why you're laughing.
I was laughing at the chat.
Oh, okay. I thought you were laughing at the song.
No.
I was trying to figure out, there's a joke, but I'm missing it.
Marsworm, welcome back to the show. This is The Tech Guy with Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, your tech guys.
And we have people in an IRC that have weird names like Marsworm.
They do. And during the break, I was talking about how my Sims 4 file was corrupted.
Yes.
And Marsworm said, don't worry, your file, your backup for that Sims 4 is in My Documents, which is a reference to the call that we took earlier.
Exactly where you left it. Yes.
Where they changed the name from Documents to My Documents.
8888 Ask Leo. Yeah, we're a couple of nerds. That's really the case. You know, you perhaps you're tuning by on the radio and you heard this and you thought, boy, those guys really are nerdy. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's who you want talking about tech on the radio. A couple of nerds with a radio show. Vincent's on the line from Santa Barbara, California. Hi, Vincent.
Hey, how you doing, Leo?
I am well. How are you?
Well, I'll do better if you can help me out.
I'm going to do my very best.
Okay. I have a Mac, and then we have our modem is a Netgear, only a couple years old, and then we have the Nest router.
Okay.
And everything works like a champ. And then we have a Ring doorbell, which we turned off about a year ago. We didn't need it, and we're going to take a protracted trip, so we're going to turn it back on. And it said it was offline. We couldn't get it online. And I have it hardwired.
My guess is the Ring forgot your credentials. Have you probably have to start at the beginning the way you did when you first set it up to pair the Ring to your Wi-Fi.
Which I'd be happy to do.
Yes.
I've gone ahead, and I thought maybe it was defeating my system. I can't get any wireless internet throughout the house, and I've plugged in and unplugged. I've gone through that routine.
Oh, so you can't do it on your phone, on your laptop, nothing?
Zero.
All right, well, let's start again at the beginning. So you have a Netgear. That must be your cable modem, right?
That is correct. And I'm on Cox.
Okay. And so you have something like the CMS 1000, which is a very good cable modem. And then that's connected to...
good one.
Yeah. And that's connected to a router.
Right. A Nest, a Google Nest, 2 years old.
Okay. But you haven't used it in a couple of years?
Well, no, I've used the Wi-Fi. We use it all the time, but we haven't used the
Ring
doorbell.
Yeah. So when you went to set up the Ring doorbell and get it reconnected, that's whenever you started to experience issues connecting to your Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. The doorbell broke your Wi-Fi?
That's the suggestion.
Well, I don't know.
That's what he's wondering.
So now your Wi-Fi is not working at all?
Zero. And I'm getting, I can't say it all. I'm getting signal. So on all my multitude of devices, it shows that I'm getting signal, but it will not connect to the internet.
Okay. So you on your phone, for example, or on your Mac, you see the bars and it says that it's connected to your network. But when you try to open up your web browser, be it Safari or some other browser, then it says cannot connect to the internet.
You're a better wordsmith than I.
Okay.
So
we just wanted to confirm.
I presume you've done the first thing, which is to unplug both the modem and the router. Let it sit for
times or more.
Okay, and you let it sit for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and you plug them in, and it really doesn't matter which order, but you plug them in again, and it doesn't come back. You're on the no, and in the Nest app, the only problem with the Nest, the Google router, doesn't have the lights in the front that a lot of routers have that will tell you kind of a diagnostic. Oh, okay, I'm connected, but I'm not getting internet. Yes, now I'm getting internet, etc. So I guess you'd have to use the app for that, and I haven't used the Nest Wi-Fi in a while. I can't remember what the app looks like. Does it give you any diagnostic capability at all?
I don't.
This is a strange problem. I mean,
well, and I had Cox on the phone for 40 minutes a day, and they gave up. and they switched me over to Google. Say we're going to put Google on the line. I can get through to God before I can get through to them.
So the question, yeah, you're right, and you did in fact get through to us. So the question, the next step is to reset. This is what Google tells you to do: reset the next router to factory state. Start over from the beginning. I'll tell you how to do that in a sec. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I'm really baffled. What did you do when you were starting to set up the Ring doorbell?
Tell us the process of when you decided, okay, let's get this Ring doorbell set up. What were the steps you took?
Right. We just went to the app. Just went to the app, and actually my gal pal, my partner here at the house, tried it. Mm-hmm. Because she's the administrator of it. She happens to be in Utah, but so she tried to do it. I tried to do it from here, and they said, no, it has to be your partner. And so I contacted her in Utah, and she tried it, and it just never engaged. So
and then at that point,
said, well, it must. At that point, then whatever I did, I determined I no longer had any Wi-Fi. So I went to the traditional rebooting. Like Leo talked about, at least 8 times, probably more like a dozen.
I think you want to I think some interaction with the Ring messed with your router. It may be you need to disconnect the Ring. But
I have actually.
Okay. So you really want to? Do you only have one Google Wi-Fi, or do you have a number of them?
I have 2 points.
2 points.
To
okay.
the home
so you need to reset.
I've unhooked.
Yeah, you can factory reset the network in the Google Home app. If you go to the Wi-Fi settings, there's a factory reset entry. And you'd also have to do that with the Wi-Fi points. I would suggest one thing to try is do it with a point first, because then you won't have to reset up all your stuff. Because when you do a factory reset, it's going to be like it came from the factory. It's not going to have a name or a password or none of the things you set up. You got to start over.
Yeah, I read that.
There is a hardware reset button as well, but you can just do it in the app, which is probably the easiest thing.
That's better too, because then it breaks that connection in the app, whereas it could hold on to it if you do it the hardware way.
And then,
I see. Yeah.
And you're not using a router of any other kind. You don't have the Cox router in there or anything. You took out the Cox stuff. Yeah.
No, I don't have any stuff.
So you only and the Netgear is not a router, it's just a cable modem, yes?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
it's worked like a champ for years.
No, it's a good combination.
2 years.
It's a great combination. Yeah. I think resetting the Google Nest Wi-Fi is the step to take here. And the points. Yeah, you'll have to, but it's not a hard thing. You set it up. It has an app to set it up. You set it up with you can use the same name. I would use the same name and password you used before, so you don't have to convince your stuff to.
Now you had mentioned about maybe trying to do it with a point first.
Well, only if it's the point causing the problem. If you reset the point, then it will get its settings from the base, so it won't be as much of a pain for you. If that fixes it, then the point was doing something. But I'm gonna bet you got to reset the whole thing.
Yeah, we've included a link, or we will include a link in the show notes that has all of that information. If you have trouble finding it, about how to reset just a point and how to reset the entire system.
And it's a good idea to have the Ring offline when you do this.
Absolutely.
It's got a battery in it, so it's hard to get it offline.
Matter of fact, we called them up and said, we no longer want to deal with you, so we're not even in their system. We're in it, but only is.
Yeah, well, get the Ring far away, because it's got a battery in it, and we'll still be trying to connect. I can't think of what the Ring could do. I mean, it's possible for poorly configured devices to bring down your network, but I think it's maybe coincidental. I don't know.
All right. Well, I will try those. Are we offline? You're not broadcasting?
Well, we're on the podcast, so some people are listening.
Oh.
But we're not on the radio.
All right. I was just going to say, I share a property line with Google's Eric Schmidt.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I thought about jumping the fence.
Hey, Eric. Wow. That's you must have a nice place if you abut Eric Schmidt's house. That's nice. Wow.
Well, it's a nice place, but his house is 18 acres and 22,000 feet. So.
Nice. Hey, we'll talk another time because I got to run here because guess what? It's Johnny Jet time. He's been everywhere, man. He's traveling the mountain and the thing and going around in an airplane and he's putting on his life jacket and he's here and he's in the... Hey, Johnny Jet.
How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Just got back from Del Mar, California.
Oh, wait a minute. Del Mar.
Where is Del Mar?
It's like San Diego area.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It's famous for its racetrack, which I used to take my dad to.
Your dad likes the ponies, doesn't he?
Oh, he loves the ponies. But, I never went to the beach until this week, and it was amazing. And we stayed at a place called the Del Mar Beach Hotel.
Yes. Yeah. Very nice. Every time I go to Del Mar, I say, I should move here.
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. The water is clear. Oh. It's warmer. Oh, and nice.
I wonder if I've been there.
I really loved it. I'm like, man. And we this hotel that we stayed at had a bungalow.
Is this new, the Del Mar Beach Hotel? I feel
it's an old hotel, but they just pumped like $14 million into it.
That's what I was thinking. They've redone it. Yeah.
And they have bungalow. They have a bungalow.
I love bungalows.
I'm talking it's 5-star.
A 5-star bungalow.
They have a wolf stove, which I never heard of, but my wife's like, this is top quality.
We both looking up wolf
it's
stoves.
It's only $900 a night.
Oh, I know wolf stoves. I don't have to.
So I mean,
I'm looking up
the
Del Mar Beach Hotel though. Nice. I want to go there. All right.
But rooms start at $279 for the regular. But if you want a bungalow, this is a way to do it.
We stayed once in a bungalow at the fabulous Hotel del Coronado. And that was living. Let me tell you, I like a bungalow.
I lived in Oceanside, California, so I wonder if we've been to Del Mar when I was a kid.
It's just south of
Oceanside.
Yeah. How is Oceanside? I've never been to Oceanside except driving through.
We were on a military base, so not the prettiest part.
We're looking for somewhere for a little getaway, a little jaunt. This sounds like I would like to do this. So you recommended it, right?
Get the bungalow or the beach house. It's one bungalow or a beach house.
Or a beach house.
Yeah.
All right, deal.
The hotels, it was a motel, and now they just redid it. And it's right next to Jake's, which is a sister property of Duke's in Waikiki.
Oh, I love Duke's.
So you can get hula pie.
Hula pie?
Oh, yeah.
Does it come in a grass skirt?
I wish, but no.
So... John, let's talk travel. Well, I guess we kind of are, but tell me more. So,
Southwest Airlines, if you want to save $50 and you're a Costco member, you can buy a gift card. It's a $500 gift card for $450.
Nice.
So it automatically saves 10%. So if you fly Southwest, it's a great way to save some money. Costco usually does Alaska Airlines as well as Hawaiian, but those two are not being offered right now. I think it's seasonal, but Southwest has just been reinstated. So jump on that. There's if you use Seat Guru, which, every time I book a flight, I would tell people.
Guru. Always use Seat Guru. Yeah.
Well, there's a new site, there's
a new one,
but you still have to use Seat Guru because Seat Guru has a lot more airlines, aircrafts, and information. But this one's called Aerolopo. AEROLOPA.com. Aerolopo. And the LOPA stands for Layout of Passenger Accommodations. So what makes this, I'll put it in the chat room real quick so you guys can see.
Layout of Passenger Accommodations, LOPA.
Yes.
LOPA.
So what makes this better than...
It's not the Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. Because that's also LOPA, but that's not the same.
No, this is Aerolopo. I just put the link in the, so it's AEROLOPA.com.
See, I went to the wrong site. Okay. Although if I needed an organ, I found where to go. Making sense of airline seat maps. They do it by airline, which is nice.
Yeah, I think they have 40-something airlines, and it's, the cabins are drawn to scale. So, you don't have to worry about getting a seat without a window. Sometimes the rows are not aligned.
Yeah, and I hate that. When you get like a pillar instead of a window, I hate that.
Yeah, and they also show you, the bathrooms are drawn to scale. So which bathroom has a handicap bathroom, which is important for a lot of people.
Many years ago, I flew first class on SAS, the late lamented SAS, and they had a bathroom that was bigger than my apartment, and it had flowers in it. It was beautiful.
Well, that's a 777, most likely.
Yeah. They also had a chef with a chef's hat who came around.
This is SAS or Austrian?
No, it was flying to Stockholm. I think it was SAS.
Okay, so SAS. Yeah. Because Austrian has this, or they did have a chef right before COVID.
Oh, it was like you got
SAS is a great airline.
They had a smorgasbord. It was a smorgasbord. Are they still around? For some reason I thought they went.
No, SAS is still around, but they're having problems. I think they're on strike right now. They were on strike a month ago, and they had, I think, over 1,000 flights yesterday canceled. Let me see. But what's nice about SAS, when you fly them, you can bid to get an upgrade. So I flew them Newark to Stockholm a few years ago.
Well, that was the funny thing. I was traveling with my son, who was 14 at the time, and I think they had put us in an escape, exit row in economy, and without even asking, they said, "No, why don't you sit up here?" And so we sat up front, and it was amazing. My son, I completely spoiled him because now he says, "Can we do that again?"
Right. I know the feeling.
It was really nice.
Or my son knows the feeling.
Yeah.
It's anyway, but this is a cool site to check out, as well as SeatGuru. It will tell you.
Is it the same information on both, or
no? I mean, SeatGuru has more information.
Because a lot of times the seat maps, which I always look at when I book a flight, but the ones on the airlines' websites aren't the greatest. They don't
definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely
so it's nice to have a little second opinion.
So in March, we flew United to Hawaii. And the 777, I found business class tickets for crazy cheap, cheaper than coach. And I was trying to figure out which is the best row, because we were worried about COVID and I want to make sure my kids were far away. I could not find the information. I watched videos on YouTube. I went to United's website, and I obviously went to SeatGuru. But this would have helped me.
Because
it really shows.
AEROLOPA.com. And it's free. Why do they do this? Is there some ulterior motive?
No, I mean, I'm sure it's advertising. It
was born in 2021 out of a session with aircraft seating charts. It says on the website. That's cool.
A labor of love. SAS is not on strike right now. They only had 64 delayed flights.
Oh, okay, good.
Canceled.
And they're not bankrupt. For some reason, I thought they were. Anyway, okay.
No. But Southwest has been having a lot of. Yesterday they had 1,700 delayed flights, and American had almost 700.
Wow.
So there's been some issues in the U.S. right now.
Where do you go? So I'm noticing, for instance, on this Aerolopa site, that they go to the Flyer Talk forums to get feedback about seats and stuff.
That's the original.
Is that the one to go to? Where do you go to get information about this stuff?
You can go to flyertalk.com, and that's where a lot of these blogs go, and there's all different chat rooms, and they have it for every airline, every hotel program. And this is where they find, when there's a mistake fare, if there's a fare for $99 to Sydney.
Did I just give away your secret weapon?
No, not at all. Listen, no, I don't have time to sit there and look at Flyer Talk all day long. That's why people subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to all these other bloggers' newsletters, because we all share information.
Nice.
So Flyer Talk's incredible. I mean,
all right.
It was started by Randy Peterson. Yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. But you're really for nerds. You need to know the codes, and a lot of people don't know all these different codes.
So that's where you go. You go to johnnyjet.com, because he knows the codes. He knows this stuff. Get his newsletter for free, and then once you learn all this stuff, once you get to be advanced, then you go to flyertalk.com. And Aerolopa, anybody can use that. AeroLopa.com. Some very good stuff. Handy tips today. Thank you.
I'm glad I can provide.
Where are you going next?
That's a secret.
Every time.
Always a secret.
One of these days, you're gonna tell me. Thank you, Johnny Jet. JohnnyJet.com everywhere. We'll see you next week. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys too. More calls right after this. I just texted Lisa. I said, next place, let's go down to Del Mar.
I'd be interested. Just check out. I'll send you some photos from the.
Well, the Points guy just did an article about it too.
Oh, you know what? That was my buddy Eric Rosen.
Oh, he was down there probably at the same time. Did they have
No. He was there before, and he's a great guy. I've traveled with him a lot.
Nice.
So, and he's from there.
I like the idea of getting a little bungalow because we can cook.
So they only have
breakfast.
one bungalow.
Oh,
but listen, this will hold 10 people.
Well, I only have the two of us.
Sorry.
Micah, you want to come?
It's okay.
The bungalow won't hold 10 people, but there's an outdoor table for 10 people.
Okay.
No, there's only one bedroom in the bungalow, but there's also this huge room that has a pull-out sofa. The TV must have been at least 85 inches.
Wow.
They have one outside. They have a jacuzzi outside with a flat screen TV. They have, state-of-the-art barbecues.
And the ocean is beautiful and warm, and it's right there. It's on the ocean.
It really is. So
Lisa's listening right now, so.
So if you do go in the ocean,
sell it.
I heard a lifeguard saying, make sure you shuffle your feet because there are stingrays.
Oh.
So don't just go running in. You just do the shuffle, which I do that all over the world.
Now I'm scared.
No, there's nothing. I made the mistake of telling my son that, and he wouldn't go in the water.
Yeah.
I was like, please.
I'm
the chances of you getting stung are very slim.
The hotel's on the beach itself at the end of a mile-long stretch of oceanfront mansions. Wow, this sounds so nice. Poseidon's and Jake's.
And you can walk to town. It's 0.3 of a mile. And there's
lots of restaurants there.
Yeah, we went to Del Mar Pizza one night.
Sabica, Americana, Pacifica, Tamarindo. This is nice. We like San Diego area. We usually go down to Hotel Del, but this might be kind of a fun, different.
You got to get the beach house or the bungalow.
Yeah, we'll only go when we can get the bungalow.
Yeah.
And look, there's a shiny La Ciamballa espresso machine. Nice.
They did not skimp on all the
amenities
in this place.
But it was an old motel. I mean, you can tell it's an old motel. That's hysterical.
I think it's 1968.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But the bungalow is not 1968. That is like it was a house next door they must have bought, and they just you have your own driveway. So,
okay, Lisa, let's do it. Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Everybody healthy and doing okay, and your dad's okay.
Yeah, knock on wood. My son starts school next week.
Yeah, school started here this week. Ooh.
Micah, nice talking to you, buddy.
Good to talk to you too.
Did you get to talk to him at all?
Not really this time, but
not this time
in the
past. Yeah, we have. We've had good chats.
I'll just step back here and let you go.
It's good. Always good to see you.
You too, buddy.
Take care.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Sewage pollution from Tijuana has infiltrated all the way to Coronado, says Graveyard Tuba. Stay clear of Hotel Del this year. Yikes.
Oh, my.
So you can't go in the ocean, probably. Would Del Mar be okay? So cute. So cute. So cute. I love it that you played Janet Jackson. That was very cool of you, Laura.
Yes.
That was really... Oh, see? Scooter X is paying attention.
What a nerd.
What a nerd. You're a nerd. He's our research nerd.
Yes. Thank
Without
God for Scooter X.
I know.
And all the rest of you in the chat. Thank you all for your help.
1, 2, 3, 4. Leo Laporte. You got the beat? I got the beat. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Micah Sargent, your tech guy. We're answering your calls. You get double tech guys to stay, and that's nice. Either double the right answer or double the wrong answer. But either way, you'll get it twice. Wayne on the line from, I'm going to try this, Wayne. Now, you don't laugh too loud. Chocowinity, North Carolina.
Excellent.
I got it right?
Excellent. Good job. Yes.
Wow.
Or do they ever say Chocowinity, North Kakalaki?
Yes. That too.
Wayne, a pleasure meeting you. Welcome to the show.
Excellent. Long-time listener, first-time caller. My tech guy squares.
Yay.
How are you guys?
You got it all.
Excellent. I'm an AutoCAD user for about 30 years, and my graphics card is slowing me down.
Ooh. Are you a professional AutoCAD user, or do you use it for fun?
Well, both.
Wow.
I am a professional, and I love it. I'm doing 3D work, rendering, and it looks like I'm going to need a computer similar to a gaming computer, but I'm not a gamer, so I don't know anything about gaming computers.
Yeah.
I know that they have an awesome graphics.
Well, you picked a good time to be in the market because GPUs were very, very expensive, almost impossible to get because, it started with cryptocurrency miners buying them all up for their mining machines because GPUs do a very good job of that. And then as a result, they created a shortage, so scalpers would then jump in. And every time new GPUs went on the market, the scalpers would jump in, buy them all up, so no one could get them, and then charge exorbitant, overcharges to get these. So this became very, very expensive. But then something happened. Cryptocurrency crashed. The miners kind of mostly went out of business. There are a lot of used GPUs in the market. I would not go get those because God knows what thermal issues they've been subjected to. But it also means that NVIDIA, by the way, NVIDIA had a terrible quarter as a result, but that means it's much easier to get those cards than ever before. And the prices have relatively tumbled. So are you using the latest AutoCAD 2022?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you using specialized tool sets?
Architecture.
Architecture.
Mainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you an architect?
And that used to be yes.
Nice.
And that used to be a side, an extra add-on, but now it comes as a package.
Yes, it's one of the tool sets. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. They're clever, aren't they, that way? So they say recommended ridiculous small thing, 4 gig GPU with 106 gigabytes per second bandwidth and DirectX 12 compliant. Obviously, that's a minimal choice. So you could certainly get a bigger one. I would probably... you also want to make sure you don't get a GPU that's not in their list of recommended GPUs, and that's potentially problematic as well.
So the GPU is something I plug in?
So most PCs come with what we call integrated graphics. They're part of the system on a chip that Intel, AMD ships with their computers. But people who want to play video games or run high-end 3D rendering programs or AutoCAD, things like that, will often get a standalone GPU. So your CPU, your Intel chip, does the calculations, but the GPU does the graphics. And the GPU can be as much as or even more than the CPU. And a high-end gaming machine, for instance, will have a GPU that can cost hundreds or sometimes more than $1,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you want a GPU, but you want a GPU that's compatible with AutoCAD. So,
and that's what I ask for when I'm searching and shopping.
Well, I would go to Autodesk's website and look at their list. Okay. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. AutoCAD compatible GPUs, because what they call certified graphics hardware, because you're better off getting something they know works and so forth.
So I have an HP Pavilion all-in-one. Is that something that
will probably not have a GPU in it, and there's not any way to add a GPU to that.
Oh.
So you're stuck with what that thing can do. All-in-ones are typically not very upgradable. They're more like laptops. If you decided you were going to get a new computer, get a tower that is more upgradable. Then you can upgrade the RAM, you can upgrade the hard drives, and most importantly for you can upgrade the graphics cards.
Right, and I'm thinking that's what I need to do. I've been holding off on that, trying to find a fix, but it looks like I'm going to have to break it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, well, you can wait because I guess the chat room's saying in a couple of months the latest NVIDIA cards, the RTX 4000, will come out. He says you can heat your house and run AutoCAD at the same time.
Sweet.
I would absolutely look and see what Autodesk recommends. That's the most important thing, because there are mostly what you'll see in the market are cards designed for gaming that isn't actually, even though technically they're the same card, but their drivers and so forth are different, and the capabilities are different. And sometimes frequently, these companies will make cards for your market that are labeled things like Quadro or Fire Pro that are designed for AutoCAD and have different capabilities. So these are called the professional workstation class cards, and they will cost you more, but they will give you better results. They'll be more reliable and give you better results. So, and honestly, at least in some cases, I know Quadro cards are identical to the consumer-grade GPU cards. They flip a switch. And I've seen hacks for the consumer cards that turn them into Quadros, but I'm not sure I'd recommend that. This is something you do for your living. It's something very important to you. Yeah. And what you're paying for, understand, when you're buying something like this, all you're paying for is time.
That's right. Yeah.
And your time is valuable.
I'm sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there waiting for my computer. I don't like that.
Your time is very, very valuable. I'm looking at I'll put a link at justcreative.com. I'll put a link in that recommends for AutoCAD the best graphics card for balanced performance, he says, is the NVIDIA Quadro P2000. For professional workstation, he has a number of them. There's actually 9 different recommendations. So I'm going to, and he says for AutoCAD, what's the best? And then it has, a very complicated table. But I'll put this in the show notes at techguylabs.com just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. And I still would say check with Autodesk what they recommend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hey, have fun.
Good talking to you guys.
It's great to talk to you. And what do you design? Homes? Commercial? What do you design?
A little bit of everything. Custom homes, multifamily, entertainment industry, restaurants. Yeah.
You love it? You must love it if you do it for fun as well as as a living. That's nice.
I do.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah. I think architecture is a fascinating field.
Yeah.
Well, good to meet you.
It's fun. Excellent. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care. Yeah, that's something it's important to understand. You might think I'm getting a better computer because I have a faster processor, a faster graphics card. It's not that it's better. Mm-hmm. The same answer is going to come out at the end. It's a question of how quickly. And I think a lot of times people overspend because they don't understand. Well, it's a difference in a cup of coffee and lunch. And maybe they're willing to get the same result and go to lunch, in which case you can save a lot of money. Now, gaming's different because that's real time.
Right.
So doing AutoCAD is not real time. You do a design, you say render that, and you walk away. Gaming, you're going to want the top performance, because immediately it's frame rate and so forth. Not if you're playing Sims 2, but for high-end gaming cards. So for pros like Wayne, it really is all about the time. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys.
What are you going to do, play video games for a living?
Well, yes. Hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, Micah Sargent 2, your tech guys. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, all that jazz. 88 Ask Leo. As we mentioned, Apple's new watch and phone and AirPods 2 should be coming out in just a few weeks. September 7th is the rumored date. And the only reason it's rumors are rumors. We think it's a good rumor, but it's still a rumor. But it is an advisory that you should not at this point go buy an iPhone, an Apple Watch, or AirPods, because
hold on just a little longer.
You might have some regret in 3 weeks. I'm just saying that. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. On we go with the show. Jay is on the line from Manassas, Virginia. Hello, Jay.
Hi, Leo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'll try to answer quickly my sad story here.
Okay.
So late last year, I bought a new Denon receiver, 3700.
Nice.
and set it up with an older TV. And I thought, oh, this works great. I got to put in a new TV. So I bought a LG 77-inch TV, and the Best Buy guys delivered it, and they set it up really nice. It worked with my Xfinity remote, and everything was working great. And then about a month ago, my Denon had an update.
Uh-oh.
And everything went kaplooey.
Oh, no.
And I got everything back. It took a while to figure it out. But
Did it, because of the update, reset all the settings to their original factory state? Is that what went wrong?
Yeah, I think so, because my remote wouldn't work, and I had to reset up my devices that go into it, like my DVD player and that box.
Yeah.
So I had to get my remote working. I had to call Xfinity. I couldn't figure out how to do that. But I got down to one item left, and I've been kind of playing with the TV and the Denon, and I still can't figure out. And it's a simple one. I'd like to play Apple movies and other things from my phone, and I can mirror my phone directly to the TV. I can do a mirror and have my phone up on and watch movies, and that's great. But now I can't get the sound that comes out of the TV. The sound from the TV won't go to my Denon, and I can't figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah, I can help you with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're using AirPlay on your iPhone to play to the TV.
Correct.
And you have an Apple TV on the TV. That's what you're AirPlaying to? Or does the TV support AirPlay? The TV supports it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Directly to the TV. Yeah, I just push the mirror, and it pops up on my TV.
Nice. So that's built into the TV. Apple started doing that not so many years ago, and it's a good thing because you don't have to buy an Apple TV. You've got it kind of built into your television. So the TV the sound is coming from the TV, just as if you had Netflix playing on the TV or whatever. You've got to get it into your AV receiver. And normally the way you do that is make sure that the AV receiver is using an HDMI cable plugged into the eARC port of your TV.
Okay, yeah, I have that. It's on the ARC.
ARC is audio return channel. Your Denon, and I imagine your brand new TV as well, support eARC, enhanced ARC. So that's the first step, is to make sure that those are connected properly. Now, if they are, and your TV is sending it out through the ARC, your receiver should see it and put it out to the speakers. Often, this should never happen, I'm sorry to say, with an update, but I guess it does. Often the TV and the receiver kind of lose track of one another. And the easiest way, in my experience, it's going to be a pain, it's going to be similar to what you did with the Denon, is to reset the TV. So this is often a solution to problems like this. I mean, you're physically, you've got it all correctly set up. And you might, before you reset the TV, you go in the menus and make sure you're outputting the sound. That the TV knows that you have a home theater system and you're outputting the sound of the Denon and all of that. But I bet it is, because you didn't change anything. It's just the Denon that changed. But the TV is now kind of confused. Make sure you also send something that Denon understands. Your Denon is amazing. It does Dolby Atmos. It does DTS. It does IMAX Enhanced. It is amazing. This is you got a very nice Denon. I'm just looking at the specs. So it should have no trouble handling anything that LG can put out. This happens to me all the time, and for some reason resetting the TV is almost always the solution. Now, resetting it though, and that'll be in the menu, resetting it means that you'll have to then go through all the TV settings and return them to the state you want. So when you reset it, the TV will probably go back to its own speakers. You want to go into the sound settings and say, no, don't play it through the TV speakers. Play it through the home theater system, through the ARC channel, and things like that. I'm almost certain this will fix it. I don't know why, but TVs frequently kind of get lost. They lose the plot, and resetting them seems to work.
Oh, that helps a lot, because I've been making sure it's going out the HDMI and doing this and that, and nothing ever works.
It sounds like you actually have the physical setup is fine. So it's just getting the handshake between the TV. You know, before you go through the trouble of resetting the TV, just check to make sure it's outputting to the home theater, that the home theater is getting something it can understand. Pretty much it can understand anything. Try changing it to if it's PCM, change it to bitstream. If it's bitstream, change it to PCM. Change some of the outputs that come out on that ARC channel. Sometimes the receiver gets confused about that. And if none of those simple little tweaks work, then just go back and start over.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
very good.
Yeah. Nice receiver. I'm very jealous. This is a powerhouse receiver.
Yeah, I'm still kind of learning about it. And like I say, everything worked perfect. And then one day it popped up and says it was doing an update. And I had
so frustrating. An update should never set you back like that.
That's what keeps people from updating.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody in the chat room saying never update unless you're going to get new features. Well, I'm not sure I agree with that. The updates are often important, but yeah, I don't know why a receiver should get updated. I have many Denon receivers, and they always want to be updated. I don't know why. I'm not sure why that is necessary.
I set that for automatic. Maybe that's a mistake. I think I have it set for automatic.
Yeah, maybe not have it automatic because it's rare. I mean, look, there's not going to be security issues. You've got all the features you want. I would set it to manual given what happened last time. Yeah, that's terrible. That's a pain in the butt.
So for a while, I was very confused because everything just crashed, kind of.
Right.
It just dawned on me after I got things kind of set up. I said, "Oh, I remember this thing did an update, and that's what." I think my TV has done a couple of updates too, but I haven't seen it. But I haven't seen any problem with it. But maybe even the
in
TV.
theory, anything connected to the internet probably should be updated because it's always, that's vulnerable. So I always hate to say don't update, but I also hate it when an update is so intrusive that you have to go back and fix things and call people, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Try resetting the TV. If that, maybe even resetting the receiver. Sometimes settings get out of sync. I for some reason, every time I put a new audio chain in on a home theater system, I have to reset everything for some reason. I think they get confused easily.
Oh, okay. Oh, very good.
Give it a shot anyway.
Thank you.
My pleasure. That's a nice setup. Beautiful TV. That Denon receiver does everything. It's an expensive receiver.
It reminds me of anytime you have to do that, it reminds me of plugging in a cable, like a literal cable, coaxial cable, and having the TV have to scan for all the channels that it can have. Yeah. Same thing with eARC. You have to have it re-recognize everything whenever it
I think that's
starts
what's going on. Yeah. Anyway, we know how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Micah Sargent, Leo Laporte, your tech guys too. We got another 45 minutes. Should be enough time to take your call. We'll see if we can maybe do a little giz fizz later in the hour too. Get a gadget of the week. All ahead.
Oh, I like this.
It sounds like kind of a cheesy little wind-up band. No?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
No, it's not. Okay, I'm just saying. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys, 8888 Ask Leo. Let's thank Professor Laura, musical director, for the cheesy little wind-up band. Alan on the line from North Hollywood, California. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Leo.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
We're well. How are you?
Just fine. If I may, I'd like to prevail on your experience and expertise and give me an opinion on JPEG repair software.
Wow. JPEG repair software. So you have an image that is corrupted.
A number of them.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
I know. And I was just wondering if there are any that stand out. Also, are there any either free programs or how can I say, ones that may require? I think they say some of them require a little bit of assistance or whatever. I was just wondering if
I'm going to send you to a site that I often send people to because they have a huge number of free or inexpensive tools. They do have one for JPEG repair. The site is easeus.com, easeus.com. However, and they have a program called File Repair that will, I got to say, my experience with repairing JPEGs is very poor. It just really depends what's wrong with the JPEG. It's easy to repair a JPEG that has, for instance, a corrupted header. But if the data in the JPEG is corrupted, it's going to be pretty hard to get an image out of that.
Yeah, I don't know. They're on some, can't think of the name now. The card.
SD card?
Ah, okay. So that's another issue. US also makes a SD card recovery tool, and I have used them from other people. A lot of times, and it's really frustrating, these tools, and EaseUS does this too, will run. They'll say, oh, yeah, here's your images. You want me to recover them? That'll be $99.99, please, which I find very annoying and frustrating. A lot of things that say they're free are not free if you actually want to use them. Chat room's giving us a lot of them. There's JPEG Repair, jpg.repair. That sounds like it might jpeg-repair.org. We'll put them in the show notes. CompressorDie.com. That's an interesting one. Now, when you say it's on an SD card, that raises another issue. It could be the JPEGs are fine, but the SD card is damaged. And incidentally, when once an SD card betrays me like that, I stop using it.
Oh, yeah, I've stopped. It's in some old cameras.
Yeah.
And they all come out as a bunch of green squares.
Yeah.
Last time I looked at them.
Yeah. Honestly, SD cards, the flash memory in them is relatively inexpensive. They do fail after a while, and it could just be that the card itself is damaged, and you're not going to be able to get anything out of it. So what I would do is a lot of these tools, and we've got a long list now thanks to the chat room. A lot of these tools will at least run and say, yeah, I could get it back. If you really want it, though, it's going to cost you. And at least you can see if it can get it back. And sometimes they'll show you a thumbnail, which will at least tell you that they were able to. And then it's up to you to decide how much those images are worth to you. It's funny, I recently did buy a tool to unerase files from an SD card because I had a picture I loved, but I had foolishly erased the card before I got the full quality version of it. So it was worth it to me to pay for it to get the original back. So these tools often will work. It really is going to depend on how deep the damage is. Green squares is not a good sign. I'll just tell you from my own experience. Sometimes you'll get like half the picture and then it's garbage after that. But if the whole thing is green squares, that doesn't sound great. But
it's not solid.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like some damage. Because JPEGs are compressed, it's not like a TIFF or a bitmap where it's sequential dots of the picture. It's kind of mushed up because it's compressed. And so as a result, getting it back is not as easy as just saying, well, I got half the picture here. It may be hard to get a full picture out of it. But we have a lot of them. I'd start with EaseUS. They have a pretty good track record as far as I'm concerned. For this kind of stuff. And a lot of their stuff is free. I don't know if this one is free to try or free to buy. They're saying things like recovery rate 99.97%. I don't know if that's true. Free download, the best file repair tool. Repair corrupted files like Excel, Word, photos, PDF files, and PSD files with simple clicks. Okay. Worth a try. They seem to know what they're doing. Caesar, next in Los Angeles. Hi, Caesar, Leo, and Micah, your tech guys.
Hi, Leo. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good. Listen, I'm having some trouble with my LG TV. It was working fine, but now it's not detecting the Wi-Fi. The TV is not detecting the Wi-Fi in my room.
Oh.
But before it was, and on my other rooms, it's totally fine. But when I try to go on the Wi-Fi settings menu, it says Wi-Fi turned off.
Oh.
I've reset the TV.
Oh.
I've reset the modem and the router and everything, and it's still the same. So I don't know what to do.
I don't know either. It might be the TV itself is broken. Because you did all the things that you should do, which reset the TV, reboot the router, and other things in that room work fine on Wi-Fi. Just the TV. Generally, what I like to do with a TV, if I can, is hardwire it. Mm-hmm. Probably not practical for you. It is in many cases because the cable coming in from the wall is right next to the TV, so that's where the cable internet box could also be. If you can move it to that might be the solution. The hardwired might be the solution. Somebody in the chat room saying something interesting. Make sure the date and time is set correctly on the TV. That's
I tried that too because I Googled it and they told me change the date and time and try it again and still doesn't work. It doesn't give me an option because before, it gives you a list of Wi-Fi connection. I was able to enter my password, but now it's not even giving me the option.
It doesn't. Not only does it not show the list, it says Wi-Fi's off.
Right, but there's nowhere to turn the Wi-Fi on the settings menu either.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
So smart TVs these days really want you to connect to the internet, not for patches, not to watch Netflix, but so they can watch you. They actually sell information about what you're watching to the networks. It's better than a people meter. It's why I often don't connect smart TVs to the internet. Of course, they hate that. They complain. I don't know. It sounds like it might have died. You have just like you would on a computer, a Wi-Fi card in there. If it's shook loose or it failed, that could be it. We'll see if we can find another solution. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. Scooter X in the chat, Caesar, says, while the TV is unplugged, find and hold the power button on your LG TV for 30 seconds. But you said you did a reset, right?
Right, but I didn't do that. I've never tried that.
Okay, so this is like a hard reset. Unplug the TV.
Okay.
Hold the power button for 30 seconds on the TV, not on the remote.
Okay.
And then plug it in. So that might be a harder reset than just a reboot,
Right. Okay, so turn off the TV, hold the power button while off for 30 seconds on the TV.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not sure why that would work. Maybe that's to drain the battery. I'm not sure why the power button.
So some do factory reset that way. I've got a few devices where you have to hold it down while it's
unplugged.
Yeah, and then when you plug it back in, it notices that you've got
keep holding it down.
Yeah, keep holding it down while
then
you
plug it
in.
in. Yeah. Try that. Yeah.
I'm going to try that then.
And as somebody else is pointing out, and this is probably the case as well, your router may have multiple bands, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. And the TV, it's not unusual for IoT devices not to support 5 gigahertz. Make sure you didn't turn off the 2.4 on your router. I'm sure you didn't do that.
The router.
Okay. Yeah, you would know that. Yeah.
That was going to be my guess.
Yeah, you would know
originally.
that. I'm sure if you turned that off.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, a
guys.
pleasure talking. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
It's true. I can't control myself any longer. Oh.
Leo Laporte.
I'm going to have to listen to that song on the way home now.
Yeah, Micah Sargent.
I forgot about that song.
Your tech guys, little Sheila E. Do the conga. 8888 ask, pardon me? Why did I say Sheila E? Gloria Estefan.
You like Sheila E.
Everything is
Sheila E.
If it's either Sheila E or it's the House of Funk. I don't know. One or the other. It's Gloria Estefan, of course. Do the conga.
Oh, hi, Micah.
Oh, hi, Micah. On the line, Michelle. 8888 ask Leo. On the line, Michelle from San Pedro, California. Hello, Michelle. Sheila Estefan. That's who it is. Yes. Michelle, are you there? Hello, Michelle.
Michelle. Maybe try that yelling thing you did that one time.
Does that work sometimes? I don't hear anything at all in the background,
know,
which
true.
means usually it's there's nobody, but I don't know. Michelle, one thing to try, maybe you've got the mute button pushed. Unmute. How about that?
Good tip.
Good tip. No, nothing.
No.
Tell you what, I hate to, leave anybody in the lurch. So I'm going to put you on hold, Michelle. And maybe we can get this working. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Website, we do put a lot of stuff from the chat room and research up at the website, techguylabs.com. Techguylabs.com. You can go there and you'll get everything you need. You don't have to write it down. We were talking about the Ring doorbell. Actually, I meant to mention this. They're doing a TV show.
Ring is?
Yeah.
Oh, no, using footage from Ring doorbell cameras?
Yeah, using footage from Ring doorbell cameras. It's going to be called Ring Nation. People have all along, people who have doorbell cameras have always posted silly videos, In fact, there's a Ring doorbell hashtag on TikTok with 2.5 billion views. Wow. So Ring thought, hey, this is
monetize.
We could make something out of this. It would also help us burnish our image because, of course, Ring's been getting in trouble for handing over video to police departments and so forth. Announced last week, Ring Nation will feature funny animals, always fun, marriage proposals. I don't know
in front of a
doorbell. I don't.
Why are you
heartwarming neighborhood interactions? This is all from the press release. It'll be narrated by Wanda Sykes. She's very funny, like her. MGM Studios is producing it, but of course, you know who owns MGM Studios.
Amazon. Is it Amazon?
Yes, yes. So really, and they own Ring at the same time. I think this is just...
if anyone is injured in one of these Ring videos, then they can get a free One Medical subscription.
Yeah, right. Our customers share videos with us all the time, says Ring representative Emma Daniels, demonstrating how the Ring products and services will help them connect with their communities and protect what matters most to them. So it's just going to be
How do they share? I've always wondered that. Because they talk about, is there a button that says, send this to Amazon for somebody to laugh about?
They tweeted, I think. Not clear, though, once they do the TV show, how you would get on the show. Probably they'll have at the end of the show. Hey, if you've got a great... It's just like America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
Except they're all from a Ring doorbell, an extremely wide angle. So I'm wondering how long this show will last, because it's going to be... Anyway, let's... I don't know if Michelle's there or not. We're going to check again. But we do have Jeff on the line. Hi, Jeff from San Francisco. Oh, it's Inspector
Leo.
Chapeau, my hat man.
Leo, my old friend, how are you?
I am well, Jeff. You've got to come up here and put the thing on Micah's head so we can get his measurements.
Oh, for sure.
What do they call that thing?
The conformator.
Wow.
It's got a bunch of pins in it, and it's got a piece of paper in it, and it actually does punches holes in the paper where the shape of your head is.
Oh, that's cool.
Then you can get a hat made exactly to your noggin.
Wow, that's really cool. Then I can have like a framed thing that says, yes, he does have a huge head. And it's just the punctured paper.
Oh, well, we'll let Jeff be the
yeah, Jeff, you could be the
judge of that.
Decider.
What can we do for you today, Jeff?
I was wondering if you are going to see the Tedeschi Trucks Band tonight at the Berkeley Auditorium, the Berkeley Theater.
Say that again, the Tedeschi Trucks Band?
Yeah.
What's that? No, what's that?
Oh, they are a hot and happening band. Very, very happening right now. But the reason I'm bringing
Is there a hat connection?
No.
Okay.
But there is a little bit of a technology thing going on because I wanted to go, but I didn't want the hassle, and I'm looking online, and I found a website called nugs.net, which streams live concerts.
Oh.
Yes.
Because I don't know if I'm going to get to Berkeley by tonight. That show's also sold out, I see.
Yes.
So nugs.net is a concert streaming site.
Exactly. Here's the deal: for like $13, you become a subscriber, $13 a month.
Oh, look at this!
They have a whole library of concerts you can listen to. A lot of Grateful Dead. But if you
our studio manager John Slanina, who you have met, I'm sure, Jeff, subscribes because they have a lot of Humphreys McGee streams, and he's an Humphreys guy. Yeah,
a lot of Grateful Dead stuff,
Yeah.
But the thing is now, if you new subscribers get half off on the Tedeschi Trucks Band, so it's only $10. So.
All right.
13 plus 10 is $20. 7-day free trial if you don't like it.
Do you work for Nugs? Is this a free ad for Nugs or just something you like?
Well, I was thrilled because they had Thursday night, they played for free to their members the Goose Band from the Red Rock amphitheater in Colorado.
Red Rock's a beautiful place to see you.
Exactly. That was a great concert. Here's the tech thing. For $25 a month, you get high-def sound.
Oh, this is tempting. I like to go to shows with there other people, but these days maybe that's not the best. I went to the Stern Grove, the free festival with the guy from the Grateful Dead, and they also broadcast right from the soundboard, and it was much better than live. Yeah.
And it's the same thing. You're getting it right off the soundboard, and you can pause. You can do it. So
I'm tempted.
Hey, you can get your money back.
Yeah.
And you have 4 days after the concert to listen to it also.
Yeah. I'm looking because I missed Metallica at Lollapalooza last month in Chicago, and I see that concert is streamed, and it is an amazing show. The closer, Master of Puppets, is stellar. So I might now start my free trial at Nugs.
Yeah, do the high def because you can't upgrade. You have to cancel. Then.
Oh no, I'm going all the way. Yeah.
Okay, there you go, Leo.
Hey, I appreciate it, Mr. Conformator.
Yes. And
what's your latest hat acquisition?
Not much. I'm trying to fix my boat, trying to fix my car, I'm up to my ears in trouble. So.
You inspired me for my last one. It was because of the Kevin Costner Yellowstone look. I got a beautiful black cowboy hat from it's a Resistol from the 60s, and it's a beautiful hat. So
was that the one with the snake?
Yeah, you
ribbon?
saw it.
Yeah, keep it.
I'm not going to ever wear it. I'm just going to look at it. Hey, pleasure talking to you, Jeff.
All right,
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's a nice tip. I didn't know about that, but apparently I'm the last guy to learn about Nugs.net.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me, oh yeah, of course, that's a great place to go.
If I heard about that, I would have thought it was like a cannabis retailer.
Yeah, the name. Oh,
okay.
Okay, we're not going to discuss
Don't
that
worry.
on the air, but apparently there's a reason they call it Nugs.net. I'm impressed that you knew that. Reason I know about the Metallica show is because there is a really cool app to teach you guitar, and they just released a whole bunch of Metallica songs where you learn from Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield. You learn the guitar licks from those things, and they give you, it's an iPad app. I'll get it for you for your next iPad today, and you watch the notes as you play.
Wow.
As they play, which is very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Leo and Micah, the Gizwiz coming up. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's like Musica or something. And you can see it. It's not as, it's just audio. Some are video. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't get that part. I never heard of Tedeschi Trucks. Have you heard of them? Are they famous? Are they great? Are they a jam band? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Fish was on there.
Musician. Do you know Musician?
No, that's a clever name.
Yes, you're the musician. But they just released a bunch of Metallica tracks that looked pretty good, and just got me into a kind of Metallica phase yesterday, reading about that. Oh, I like the Outlaws. Oh, I know Tedeschi. Yes, I know that name. All right. Musician is your personal music teacher for guitar, singing, and bass. Oh, maybe I could learn how to sing like James Hetfield. Master, obey your master. Ladies and gentlemen, here he comes, dancing out onto our dance floor. He's born to be alive, Mr. Dick Debartolo, Mad's maddest writer. We call him Disco Dickie D, and of course our very own Gizmo Wizard. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, how you doing,
I
pal?
am well. You are wearing a lovely orange.
You know what? It's a new shirt, and I thought I better wear it because I cannot believe Labor Day is.
Oh, last chance.
I can't believe.
Got to retire the white pants.
I don't know where the summer went.
I know. I know.
Well, the white pants I wear after Labor Day, I don't care.
Oh, you are a rebel. Ooh. Such a rebel. So Dick joins us every week to talk about some gizmo or gadget he's found in his travels, and he travels widely.
You know what, Leo? I think you're going to like this.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
I'm getting the credit card ready. Go ahead.
It was from the new product show, and a guy named Ed invented it. It's called Moon Ultralight 2.
Oh, if Ed invented it, I'm all over it.
And it is a mini light for your phone.
Oh, how funny.
That is adjustable from 27K to 5,000.
That's the warmth, whether it's blue or yellow.
Yes, exactly. Because when he was shooting some video, I said, that is so white. He said, well, no, you just slide your finger over the back
sunset. It's the magic
and go down to 27K, and then you hit it again, and it goes into brightness, so you can change the color, the temperature, and dim it. It runs for 2.5 hours.
Is this Ed you're talking to right here?
Yeah, yes, it is at the new product show.
I love it.
He invented it. It is so tiny.
It's kind of like a clip-on
for the
front-facing
camera. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
USB charging, USB-C, and I mean it's so ingenious. The tiny little on-off button at the very center of it is a tiny pinpoint LED light to tell you the battery life.
Oh, that's nice.
Left in this little device.
So you don't have to search in the dark for the on-off button.
Yeah, exactly. And also it'll tell you when it's time to recharge it. And,
I guess it could go on either side, though. It could go for your front-facing or your back camera, right?
Yeah, depending on what camera you're using.
It's really about it's for selfies is mostly. It's like a ring light.
Well, you know what? I used it like last week. We talked about the LED water kettle.
Yes.
Well, I normally put some lights in the kitchen when I shoot stuff. And I said to Dennis, you know what? Just stick this on the phone, so when you won't go from the sink to the counter and follow me, the lighting's going to be the same because the light is just mounted to the phone. So it worked very well.
It's all the rage with the youngs these days. Is these ring lights. I bet you Micah has a ring light.
I know.
You don't?
No, I'm an old man. You know that.
In a young man's body.
No, even I have a ring light.
Yeah, wow. See? And he's an old man in an old man's body.
It's a Valentine beer ring light. It's 3 rings.
Okay, Valentine. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, because I guess the idea of a ring light is that there's light from all around.
I don't know what.
Instead of a point source or whatever. Really. But you thought that the pictures looked pretty good with this?
I did. What I liked about it is that it's something you could put in a shirt pocket. And if you're going to a wedding or something,
not like a ring light,
and you think, suddenly you want to film a video of someone at the table, you have a light in your pocket.
No, it's not cheap.
No.
It's not cheap. No, it is $79. But I thought the workmanship in this thing was really incredible.
And I guess they call it the moon because it's got the clip on the back of the clip looks like a little moon on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like it also. You can adjust the brightness and the warmth.
Color temperature.
Which is nice. Yeah.
And USB-C, I think it was
That's
great.
Nice too. Yeah, USB-C charging.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you were helping somebody earlier, and
help is such a broad term.
No, Leah, I will never forget the day I met you. I came in the studio and I said, Leo, my laptop that I bought from New York City, I turned it on and it just says, no operating system.
Oh, I remember
and you
that.
said, oh, give me that.
Yeah. Oh, give me that.
Yeah.
Did you ever get it back?
And during the commercial, yeah. Well, I got a $300 bill.
Well, that's nice.
Anyway,
yeah, I tried it.
No, you're amazing.
Yeah. This looks cool. It's called, again, the Moon Ultralight 2.
Ultra 2. Okay.
Was there a 1?
You know what? I don't know if there was or
Ask
not.
Ed next time.
When the box came, it just said ultralight too. So I just assumed that maybe when you have a product, you should always have a 2. So people think, this is the better version.
If Microsoft would only learn that lesson, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The Dick's website has the link. It's gizwiz.biz, GIZWIZ.biz. There's a button on the right with my face on it that says the GizWiz visits the tech guy. Click my nose and it'll take you right to the page where everything Dick's talked about on the show, hundreds of products. How many hundreds and hundreds of products?
Boy, we've done a lot.
A lot of shows. They're all there. I don't remember the Darth Vader USB.
That was while you were out.
Toaster. Oh, that was you.
That was when you were away, yeah.
Oh. I missed
it. Makes sounds and lights up. It's really cool.
Oh, nice. Well, it's all there. Gizwiz.biz. While you're there, you can also check out all the other things at Dick's site, other products he shows on World News Now, the Dick's blog and log. He talks about his years at Mad. There's a lot of Mad Magazine collectibles and the Match Game. Dick was the writer of the Match Game for almost its entire run. And so he's the guy who came up with Dumb Dora was so dumb that.
How dumb was she?
All of that at gizwiz.biz. But the best thing, well, it's kind of the audience participation feature of the site. The What the Heck Is It contest, about to wrap. 11 days left to figure out what that gizmo or gadget is. You're playing for an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. There are 18 copies to give away, 6 for the right answer, 12 for the best wrong answer. And this is the Mad, He's Here, the para-abnormal issue. And I tell you, Dick, when he autographs it, he actually he does a nice job. These are suitable for framing or reading, whichever you prefer. Gizwiz.biz. Well, I guess we won't find out for a couple of weeks, but I'm very curious what this thing is.
Oh, this week, my guess is that it's a tool to tether 2 pool floaties together.
Oh,
yeah.
How clever.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play.
Yeah, I can't play, so I just have to tell
No, employees can play. Oh, well, you get a Mad whether you win or lose.
It's true. I do. Thank you for those.
Thank you, Dickie D.
Okay, buddy. See you next week.
Micah Sargent, thank you for being here. I hate it when you're not here, but next week you'll come back.
I will be back next week.
Haven't scared you off?
Never.
We do this show just for you, and I'm so glad you were here too. Thanks to Professor Laura, our musical director. Thanks to Kim Schaffer for answering the phones. But again, most of all, thanks to you for calling in, for listening in. We'll be back again next time and answer your questions, take your calls, and talk about high tech. Website where all the answers live after the show, techguylabs.com. That'll take you to our podcast site, twit.tv, where there are lots of other geeky shows for you to enjoy, including Micah's iOS Today show and Tech News Weekly show. Again, that's twit.tv, or just go to techguylabs.com and browse around. For Micah Sargent, I'm Leo Laporte. We have been your tech guys this day. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great Geek Week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security and Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.